west on 410 going towards Enumclaw, and 7.5 miles from the Greenwaters grocery store. On the right side of the road, there's a big old clear cut that's full of old stumps now. And then immediately where there's a tree line that meets it, there's a few birch or alder trees, and then a whole bunch of Doug firs or whatever they are. But I caught it about halfway across the lane, and it was just taking these great big effortless steps, and it reached the tree line within just probably a couple of seconds.
Wow.
And then it just disappeared into the alders. It was real light colored, like light sandy colored is how I would describe it. And this was about somewhere between 10 and noon in the morning, and it was daylight out. And it just was moving just quickly, but without any effort at all. And when I turned around and went back and stopped at those trees, and I've stopped a couple times since, I got the impression that it was probably about 8 feet tall.
Wow.
Very covered with really long, sandy blondish colored hair.
Wow. And the build wasn't too thin. It wasn't real thick. It was
height weight proportionate, but sturdy, or I want to say stocky, but not really stocky, but strongly built.
wow.
Like really solid, but did not move like a really big ungainly creature. It moved real smooth. It was amazing, real agile
Wow.
and effortless. But a dash
Wow.
cam would have caught it.
Wow. You should get one of those now.
I wish I had the money to. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that
So,
was,
how'd you feel when you saw it? I mean, what'd you think?
I asked myself if I had just seen what I knew I had just seen. And then it kind of confirmed in my head that, yeah, I did just see it. And so that's why I turned around and went back. I wasn't looking for anything. I was just driving to town.
Wow.
Just about 45 miles an hour, not speeding, just kind of tooling along.
So there
Wow.
was just one scene a couple of nights ago, just right down by the bridge. A guy was out in the hot tub and something jumped up from behind a stump and ran off into the woods.
Which bridge? The next?
Oh, nope, down over the Greenwater.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So about how long did you have it in sight?
I say it took it 3 to 4 steps to get to the tree lines, and it probably took it no more than a couple of seconds to do that.
Wow.
So it wasn't a very long time. It was quick, but it was clear, and he or she stood out on the road. I mean, it was very obvious because it's all clear cut, so there was nothing there except this giant guy
Running across
crossing
the road. Wow. And you said it was moving like it was gliding.
Yeah, just its legs was just effortless, the way it moved. Really long stride. Because, like I said, 3-4 steps and it was in the woods.
That's pretty cool. And then you went back and checked the trees there to get your estimate of height?
Yeah, well, I just pulled up alongside it first because I was really unsure. So I pulled up alongside it in the Jeep there and kind of looked and said, 'cause I didn't see any footprints or anything. But I looked and I was like, that thing had to be 8 feet tall.
Wow.
So, and I've stopped a couple times since then and actually got out and walked
around.
up there and looked around, yeah. And I still say he's probably at least 8 feet tall.
Wow. That would be an adult.
Big.
Could you make out any of the musculature, anything like that?
Other than the fact that he looked like you know how like Wilt Chamberlain was built, the old basketball stars?
Yeah.
Though it looked like a really giant basketball player physique. Just real toned all over, real athletic,
Yeah.
real strong and confident.
Yeah.
There was no hesitation in his movements at all.
Did he look in your direction, or was he
No.
focused somewhere else? Or?
He was looking at the tree line as far as I could tell. But when I seen him,
Yeah. So he wasn't too concerned about your coming down the road.
could have given a shit, as far as I
Really?
could tell.
Wow.
Except that as soon as he got in the trees, he disappeared.
Wow.
And he shouldn't have. If it had been a human being that had gone, there was no reason for me not to be able to see him when he got in the trees. They're not that thick. I should have been able to keep track of him. But as soon as he got in, boom, he was gone from sight.
Wow. They're
Just
really
that
good
quick.
at that. Really good.
And but I don't know how he did it. I mean, when you go next time you go that way, you stop and look,
I will.
because you'll be like, she should have been able to see him further.
Well, you know, I think sometimes they drop down to the ground and get real flat, and that helps them hide. Or not,
Blend in.
and yeah, they just blend. They're like born with natural camo, I think. You know, so it's easy for them to just disappear. The day I saw that big one up there going after the elk, it was behind some leaves as it was moving, and I waited. I watched for it to come out from behind the leaves and continue in the path of the elk, and it never did. It got to the edge of those leaves, and it was just gone. And, Gabby and I stood there for 10 minutes waiting to see where it went, and we never saw it again. So the only thing I can figure is it got down low to the ground and just moved away from us with the cover of those leaves between us.
You know, in any pictures I've seen or stuff I've seen on TV, they've always been very dark colored. For the I mean, I've not been a student of this or anything, but just the programs I've watched. So I was really surprised when he was a blondie, sandy color.
Wow.
And that's kind of also what was like. I was confused about what I had just seen because I thought they always had long black hair.
Nope, there are reports of them being brown, auburn colored. We have a gray one that's been seen up here. And down south of the mountain, I heard a report of a habituator who has a family with a blonde female.
Huh.
Yeah. So.
And it doesn't look like fur either. It looks like hair,
Yeah.
but hair that just grows like that, like hair on your head, but it's growing off of your body.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like to me, not like fur.
The one I saw was like that too, and I could even see where it fanned out coming off the back of the head. But there was no neck, so it just kind of kept fanning out and just kind of grew off down its back and shoulders. But I couldn't see any lower than that. Could you see its face at all?
No, I couldn't.
No.
It happened so quick. I couldn't even see the profile of his face. All I was focused on was his size, and how quick he was moving, and how shocked I was.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
All right, great. Well, thanks for sharing this with me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay, so I have come down the highway exactly 7.5 miles, and I believe this is the spot where she saw it cross. It looks like right there is the alders or cottonwoods that she was talking about, where it disappeared into there, and she felt she should have been able to see it better, but it was just gone. So this is the spot. Here's the clear cut right here, and I believe this is where she saw it cross the road.